call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, no public forum today, and can I get a motion to approve agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What,
All
who
right.
seconded? I do not like that setup.
You need to be in the middle?
We'll
Maybe
go
I'll
out
put
next time.
Jane
We'll
and
put you
I
out.
feel like I'm yelling at
I just,
Catherine.
yeah, we'll put you the other way. We just,
Sorry.
All right.
Just make it
We are to discussion items.
okay, I'm pulling it up and it's thinking.
Approval of contract with Omnia Co-op with train for chiller replacement. It's not even
So,
up there and I can read it.
while that is thinking, I'm not sure why it's not
Yeah.
going, but.
I read this, but I take it Monday, we didn't like
So
something with
Monday,
the original.
the original, actually, the only thing we really wanted to change was the payment schedule at the end, because basically it just left us 5% contingency after, like, the project's already done, we only have 5% in case something would go wrong. So when I spoke with them on the phone, I mentioned Roger had stated like lots of times you do a 25, 25, 50 or whatever. So he told me he was gonna do the 25, 25, 50, which was the email that I sent you. And then we got back and it was more a 12, 12. So he kind of did 25, 25, but he did it with 12. But Mike, the timeline, if we order it now, correct? It's a 12 to 16 week, so hopefully we get it and
It's
then
probably 16 to 20 weeks.
September, October, November, December, so 4 months. And then the last pay, it would basically
March,
be
January.
about 33% would be left after we get it. So it gives us a little bit more contingency, if something would go wrong. We don't only have 5% left to pay. So that was one of the big things.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was I sent you guys just information on Omnia and how all of that worked. So that was another discussion that we had,
How they operate.
how they operate. And let me
Once
try
cooling
to,
season is over, they will, once we approve this, cooling season over, they'll come in, tear the old out. Once the new arrives, they'll install. Hopefully we can get it done before December, but
Okay.
no promises.
But we knew about this, right?
yeah, so
Yes.
Mike can explain yes.
If you did, you don't have to.
Well, no, Mike wasn't here the other day, but the reason, I mean, we can put money into it now and keep putting money into it. And we just decided to make the decision that it's,
Yeah, for just to replace the leaking coil is 65,000, and there's a bunch more coils that could possibly leak, so, you know, why chase good money with that, or whatever.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Okay.
What kind of,
It's not out of the city.
is there any type of warranty on this? I guess I forgot to ask.
There's only a year.
Only a year?
warranty.
Okay.
and Mike, can you explain why we want to train? Because you've been wanting train for a while.
Well, we have train now. We have train units all over the place. We have a contract with train, so they would just, I mean, nothing would change with the contract, so. I mean,
And you've got good relationships with,
yeah,
They're a reputable company, I mean,
Yes.
they're gonna make sure that
Yeah.
it works. 'Cause they
When
don't
is
want-
installation?
as soon
as soon as we get it. So it's like a 12 to 16 week lead time to order
I
it.
can't
That's why we
remember.
need to order
Is it
it
an
now.
old thing to know it's hard to stop a train? Is that older or is that newer? I don't remember if that's a really old ad.
No, that's-
So here is
Yeah,
the
but-
payment.
I know their tagline.
Maybe they still use it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
well, I just heard if you get a train running, it's hard to stop it. That's what I heard today.
Well, I have a few questions or comments, and I guess maybe I'll preface a little bit. Sometimes I'm too direct, and that's one of my worst qualities, so I apologize if I am
Same.
sometimes that. But I'd like to really compliment the administration, because they've done such a good job with so many different things you have to weigh. You know, just like special education, and the insurance is just so complicated, and wage increases. But once in a while, something comes up that just seems nonsensical to me, you know, to bring something to the board. And, you know, we need to know the what, where, why, and exactly what the situation is. And, you know, the only thing I heard Monday was it was a cooling tower, which I don't know what it is from the man in the moon, although I've been in construction all my life. And the second thing I heard of is a consortium, which again, I don't know from the man on the moon. I'm thinking a consortium is maybe people that buy potatoes and pickles and oranges and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of at a loss for this. One of the things I have to say is that, $438,000, that's a lot of money. And I feel like we've been spending money like drunken sailors for the last few years, and somebody's going to have to pay for this. And I feel for the taxpayers out there, because it's so easy just to sit in here and 5 minutes throw out $500,000, and somebody's got to pay for all that. And unfortunately, it's not going to be me, it's going to be my grandkids. I'll probably be buried in this county, but my grandkids, which are 20, they'll probably never stay here. I just expect they'll all move out because the opportunity and the costs of taxes are just too high in this county. And so, the kind of questions I'd like to know is, this just came up, I never heard of it before, but I don't know how many cooling towers we have. If it's for the elementary school, did it fail prematurely? Questions like, is there warranties? Was there competitive bids? I don't expect a 2-3 hour explanation, but just a 15-minute explanation if we're going to spend this kind of money, that everybody on the board, and I'm kind of telling every my board members, we need to be asking questions. We don't want to be a rubber stamp to this kind of money. We got to ask those questions and know that we're comfortable, that we trust but we verify. We've got to have people that can explain these things to us, because you guys, 100 times more about any of this stuff than we do, but we're just people off the street. And it's not a popularity contest, it's something that we're representing the people out there, and we just need those kind of answers.
I guess I don't have a second choice of what to do with this chiller besides replace it. I mean, so the money has to be spent no matter what, or we don't have AC. So I'm doing my job. I thought we did everything correctly with this Omnia, doing it, without getting competitive bids. This was not going out to public bid, it was saving money. No engineers, architects. So I thought I was doing my job.
Well, I'm sure you're doing your job, but from the job you're doing to the board, there needs to be some accountability. For one thing is, I had it in my mind, we paid DeNovo $6 million, and I understood that they were going to be responsible for looking over the physical plan of the place, and they were going to be making recommendations. I think I mentioned Monday that I've done played the engineer on thousands of proposals, but I'd sit down with the superintendent and I'd say, this is what I would do, and I'd explain it to him. And I was proud to take responsibility. I'd like to know whose name is on this. There's some pretty cool technical things. If there is somebody down at Train, there should be somebody's name on this that says, this is going to work, unless maybe you have knowledge that all these pieces and parts, because these are complex things, and there needs to be somebody that either has been in this business for a long time,
It's Train.
or an engineer.
Train is in charge of this project.
And who is the engineer with Train, or who is the person responsible?
It goes into Train's hand, and they take care of everything for us. We have to trust Train. It's a reputable company. I don't know. John Daytrick is our salesman. That's who we're
Well, at least there we have a name, John Daytrick, and maybe you have a relationship with him in the past that he's proven himself that he can do this type of technical stuff. That's the type of information we need to know. I need to know a name on this
We
thing.
trust that Mike has done his research, and I
Yeah.
guess we're not experts in it either, just like you. So Mike came to us, Omnia has done all of the competitive bidding. We have worked with, and the engineering and the architecture. We have money ready for this, and we have been saving money for things that come up like this. So Brian, I don't know if you have some points you want to
Sure,
make?
yeah. Okay, and I actually made notes as you were speaking here, so I
Thank you.
can kind of address them. And, to the 438,000, yes, I know it's a heck of a lot of money. I see a lot of that anymore. we eventually were gonna spend that 438,000, one way or the other. I would argue, yeah, would we have been happy this would have went another 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years and lived off its life? No, it didn't. But honestly, things will fail, and you know that. So, to address the fact we're spending a lot of money on this, yes, I understand that. I think Mike made a great recommendation in the fact that he said, okay, so we could go replace one coil and next summer we could be replacing another coil, because this thing is getting towards the end of its life.
Or the entire unit anyway.
For the entire unit. So I think we are actually making the correct decision, replacement versus repair. He and I have talked about this umpteenth times, what is the best way to go, okay? So I do think we are making the prudent decision, okay? And again, I agree with you, and Mike, this happened a little quicker than we thought it would. Things do fail. And I'm gonna kind of jump right to something towards the end there. De Novo also is aware of this, and it is on our, what do you call it, eventual, we gotta take care of schedule, just like roofs and everything else.
Replacement
Our
schedule.
ultimate goal is to get to where our PEPAL is proactive rather than reactive. Prior to the bond issue, it was reactive. We were spending it on fixing things. Our ultimate goal, and De Novo's on board with this, is that we have things where we're doing things proactively to prevent things that we have to do reactive like this. The one other note I have here is I think I said this the other night, and I'm repeating myself, but consortiums work for the district. The one we have with Martin Brothers for the food service, it's for the district. Granted, there's not engineering and architecture in that one, but what they're doing is the state is literally going out and they're getting the best price. So when you go and you say, I want to go through the consortium, you're getting the best price with Martin Brothers. You don't have to competitively bid it.
AEA purchasing.
AA purchasing on paper. The same thing happens with the vehicles. The Department of Administrative Services literally going out. Now, granted, this is a little different because there's some engineering and architecture, but it's still spec'd, okay? It's still spec'd that it's being engineered, it's architected. We're taking that whole process out of it. They've already competitively bid this where we are getting the best price. The only difference we could do without going through Omnia here is we could go out and we could get this competitively bid, but just understand number one, we're gonna lengthen the process by a considerable amount, 2 or 3, maybe 4 months. And secondly, I can virtually say with the utmost of confidence, it's gonna cost us more because we're gonna have those fees, and we're also gonna pay the same for the unit, or more, possibly. So I understand your concern on the competitively bid part. It's been competitively bid through the state. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but I tried to.
No, very good information. And like I say, again, I'd like to say, Mike, I know you know what you're doing. I know that. What would be helpful, I mean, anytime you were buying a $100,000 bus or something, you would bring to the board and say, well, we talked to this person and I got a price here. So it'd be nice to know, who the consortium or whoever it was talked to. I mean, that's really gives us that level of comfort. The other thing I'd say, this excuse is used all the time, and it just makes the hair on the back of my head stand up, is we got to do it now. And that trick is called high pressure sales. And so if you have to come to the board and do a high pressure sales job every time, you need to start a little earlier, because you know, if I can't sleep on something, I will never buy something. And so, that shouldn't be one of the considerations, it's the value of it. But like I say, you know, I'm starting to feel much more comfortable about the thing. You know, the main objection right now I would have is I'd like to just know that there were some other people that were contacted, and I suspect you have a great relationship with these people. And, you know, I take it you trust them a great deal. That's what I'd like to hear. And, but that other competitive thing, it's just because there's so many people in business these days that are trying to backdoor things and reduce their competition. And I know it as a contractor, and it happens every day, but we as a board, we need to really be sensitive to this backdoor thing of getting jobs without making sure there's some other people that have been, had the opportunity.
Did you see the documents that I sent you for Omnia?
No, I didn't see them. I got the meetings, but I didn't see it.
And those have all of who they've contacted and all of the other bids, so that had the whole
Yeah, that was
process
provided
in
to
there.
us.
It was all there.
Yeah, I didn't
So
see it.
that,
Did you do that this morning, attach that this morning?
no, that was a few days ago.
Tuesday.
So I
guess
sent,
bad.
As a board
I sent
member,
that
as a board
information.
member, I want to say to you that I felt like I had what was informed. I had that information, I looked at it, I researched Omnia. Omnia looks like this is what they do, and they do it for public entities, schools, government, all the cities. You should have, all the
I didn't
cities.
see that attachment.
Yeah,
no.
they do it for all the cities throughout the state of Iowa, the counties, so that you don't have to go through that bid process. So I feel 100% comfortable with Omnia doing that as part of our leg, so we don't have to.
Okay.
And
So
Roger?
I guess I feel like, I don't want you to think I'm willy-nilly stamping this, because that's what I feel like you thought.
Yeah, yes, I did.
I'm not 100% certain, but I thought Friday board notes had mentioned this in the past as well. So one of those 2 weeks or a month, or 3 weeks, a week, I don't remember when. But this is not, Monday's meeting was not the first we heard about it, and excluding also Roger and I's meeting. So I think we had it out there.
Doing this, you know, I don't want
I'm sure.
to railroad anything, I want AC for the kids. I'm not making a dime off this.
Well, and I realize it is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but
And-
it's,
Without seeing another bid, you don't realize how much this stuff, I had no idea that a chiller or air conditioning unit for a school system would cost $450,000.
that's what stuff.
How many is there on the elementary school, Mike?
There's one chiller there, we have, wait till that one goes out, you're gonna really, fortunately, we are saving money.
We already are.
But that's a great talking point though, because we are preparing for that.
Yeah.
That is, when that goes out, it won't be the Band-Aid fix that we're panicked. We are preparing fiscally to handle
And
that.
again, like I explained, Mike stood up when they were putting a new one in, when they were planning on the renovations. Mike said, let's start, that one's got 5 years left on it approximately. Let's start sticking some money away so we got that done.
Yeah.
And let's use that one till it does decide it want to be right here.
I did also go out on Omnia's website, and they show how, and everything that, how the process works as well. And, you know, besides what you guys sent me, I researched, I read that, but I also went out there and went into their contracts of how they do things. So the 33, I can't remember the exact number of the contract number that we have, and it talks about how every project is engineered and spec'd, and then they send it out to bid. And then whatever the best one is. So they're doing all that. So it is getting engineered, but they're doing it based off of the specs that are needed for this type of, for an HVAC unit for school districts.
So is this contract with Omni or is it with Train?
This is a train.
Okay. And this is.
Through Omnia.
Yeah,
They're a partner
they're-
almost.
Train is just like, we have Granger's through Omnia, there's a bunch. I mean,
They're just getting a little commission to arrange a
I don't think
contract?
they get anything, Omnia don't get.
We joined that consortium, and we've been a part of that since before my time.
11 or something.
And it's free. They just
The
do
one-
it for for schools and like nonprofits.
Yeah. The only thing else I would say is I'm on the building committee, and I think maybe the building committee should have gotten together, because I've never heard of any of this
Yeah.
information and discussed before we bring it to the board if
Yep.
it's
No,
actually.
that's a good point.
That's
Yep.
right.
And we
What's
can
your
definitely do that.
price when you
Next.
want me to do something like that?
Well, I think the state, now, maybe Al can help me with this, but I think if it's over 50,000, I think
don't know
we're,
what the, no, that kind of changes.
Mhm.
In fact, we changed ours not too long ago, of what kind of a threshold we need before it comes to the board, right?
Well, for board approval, yes.
For board
I mean,
approval, but
For me to,
Come to the building.
and that would probably
I
be up
think
to the
Mike is asking like
superintendent.
at what point, I mean, Mike makes decisions daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what,
Say what- at what
at what
price?
point do we need
Sure.
to meet as a
do I stop
committee?
making decisions?
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
guess.
No,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
We trust what Mike's
Yeah.
doing, so then maybe we can
gotta be
figure
careful
that
there.
out
You gotta
and,
make decisions. You can't
and
handcuff it.
discuss that, Mike. You and I can discuss
And
it.
that's really, to me,
And I can
that's.
put those things in our Friday board notes as well. I can
mean,
get
to
back
me,
to
that's
that.
it's a lot of that comes down to administrative decisions, and the administration needs to know where the thresholds are, but discussions along the way, if it's a
Yeah.
$50,000,
Yeah, Sometimes facts and circumstances
and then you
become
report to
relevant
us.
too.
Well, it's like in any industry, business, whatever, that I see, customers, things happen, and it never happens the way you want it sometimes, something breaks down and, you either fix it, and it's not maybe in your budget for that year, but what do you do?
Yeah.
Sometimes things are beyond your control when it comes to this type of.
Brian, did you say this does come out of PEPAL or it doesn't come out of PEPAL?
This, what we're planning on doing with this,
With this $500,000, is that something that's PEPAL related?
well, we probably theoretically have 2 or 3 choices on this.
Okay.
And a lot of it's what shall we want to do.
Gotcha.
Want me to be honest with you? We could arguably say we can take it out of Pepple. We could arguably say we can take it out of Penny because we're both qualified.
Yeah.
We could argue that we obviously know there are some excess,
Right.
what I want to call it, excess
Sure.
funds
That
from
we've saved along
projects.
the way.
which- To be honest with you, if we take it out of that, then it allows us to build our Pepple and Penny up.
That makes
much
sense to
quicker.
me.
We can,
At
and
least we
that's kind of
have,
a strategic decision
at
on
least we have
our
a good
part.
problem in that the money's there.
Yeah.
It's not a case where we're,
No,
okay, we
it's
gotta
not.
take 150,000 a year.
I'm not gonna have to go down
Yeah.
to the bank and borrow.
And that's good.
That's what you're
That's a
asking.
good thing.
Or pad it from the general, or
Yeah.
not that you could take it from the general fund, but,
Right.
But still, one of these days, the party's gonna be over because there's so much debt we put on our future.
yeah.
If we could pay off some debt, that would be a great thing,
Yep.
Brian, but that's, I know.
We make a payment every
Yeah, I was
day.
gonna say, that process has begun.
Paying.
My only comment about that would be, Jim, I value wholeheartedly your opinions, especially when it came to construction things and then being on the facilities committee with you for almost 4 years. I absolutely listened to every single thing that you have to say about that. My only, I guess, rub with some of it is like, I personally have never sat here like a drunken sailor just excited to spend money because I live here, my husband lives here, I have 7 children through this district that still go here, that we pay our taxes just like everybody else, and I'm proud that we have a facility that is hopefully enticing. I'm proud of the decisions that we have made, and I don't know that there's very many of us that I would say wouldn't speak up if they felt like something should be looked at better. Heaven knows we've fought plenty of times about different things. So I almost feel like it's a little bit dangerous of a statement if it implies, which I think it does, that we didn't care who was gonna pay for it and how. I hope lots of my children stay here and live here and are proud of the decisions that we've made. I don't always appreciate the tax rates that we have in this community, but I do if it means we continue to thrive, try to increase. That's my personal thought process about it. And I might not understand everything that we voted on before, and after a couple years now it's been like, no, I never would have voted that way if I knew a little bit more now. But almost every one of us sat on the platform and ran with, we thought a bond issue needed to be addressed. So I personally am proud, and people can have beef with that. I totally understand it. That's why, you know, we're in a publicly elected position. But I do value your thought process and how you say things. Believe it or not, I value how point blank you say them. I love knowing where I stand with people. It's just that little piece. I personally, and I don't think anybody else that voted for any of this thought, I can't wait for my great-grandchildren to pay for this school. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents about that.
No, that's very well taken, Jade, and, and there's, I'll just say that our societies are so used to spending money on the future, but one of these days, but there's half of the people out there that are not so readily wanting to spend, and so we have to represent both sides. And I really admire and appreciate what you said, because it's so true. We want a nice facility and everything else, and there's always that other side that we unfortunately have to be cognizant of, because the day of reckoning will come sometime when our national debt gets up to almost $40 trillion and another $100 trillion in stuff that's owed in the future, and all the states and the counties continue to do so. There's half of the people out there, at least, that maybe side with me, and the other half that would just look at it a different way. So I appreciate what you're saying. Very true, Gene. Thank you.
Anybody have any further questions or statements? Can I get a motion to approve contract with Omnia Co-op with Train for chiller replacement?
I'll motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Oh, this one will be
Jade,
easy
yes.
this week. We are to adjournment. Can I get a motion?
Moved, yes.
27 minutes.
Second?
Wait.
Oh, we need a second. We need a
Hey,
second.
Dan.
Wait, I don't know who's second.
No one did.
I'll second it.
Roger.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
27 minutes.
I know.